Hello. I'm just waiting for you guys to hop on in here. Tag friends. Okay. Tag. Okay, so I'm down in my daughter's basement office and gonna do the live from here. So if you can, for the next couple of minutes here, if you need to contact people on your team and tell them it's going to be a live in the Sizzle World team page, then go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to go over a little training tonight on how to be plugged in. And I'm probably going to use my notes and, glance down once in a while. Hi, Kathy. To make sure that I'm not doing any rabbit trails. Hi, Rennie. And stay on task with, the topic. So, hi. So I'm just going to quickly go through some ideas for you guys to be plugged in. So I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes here, see if anybody else comes on. Ann. Hi, Ann from Mexico. Glad you could join us. So anyway, super ice storm here for the last 2 days. Last night at 10 o'clock, our electricity went off, so I slept under about 10 blankets last night, and today it's just too cold to stay there, so I had to come to my daughter's house and get warm. So that's what's happening here. So I'm going to talk about being plugged in, and what does it mean? I'm just going to go ahead and start because people will come on and watch this later, and join us later, and they can always review it, come back in the page and review it. So, what are your obligations to someone who joins as a member with you? How can you provide support to them? I think a lot of people, well, Rennie, I went ahead and did this training, and there's really no interchange of ideas here, so I'm just going to do the training. So what can you do to provide support to your new members when they come on? And basically, communication is the key. Without communication, you lose people. People lose sight of, what brought them to the team in the first place. They lose the relationship to the product, the company, and to you. So I'm just going to go over some ideas here that may help you with that, because I think a lot of people, they hear like, oh, be supportive to your team, but that's never really defined. So tonight I'm going to attempt to define it the way I see it. And if it's of benefit to you, then that's good. If it's not, it's like straw and hay, throw it out if it doesn't jive with you. And like I said, I'm going to follow my notes so that we don't do any rabbit trails here. But okay, so network marketing or social marketing can be a life-changing experience for so many people. In one way, it can change their life if we have awesome products like we do, and it will improve their health, right? And the other way is financially. It could certainly generate some great money for them. I know it has generated some good money for me. So, and it's really, the communication is really the why of why companies put their products in this type of marketing system. I was involved with a different company that had a biochemist on board with them, and on the side, not involved with that company, he created a product and paid somebody thousands of dollars to promote it for him and hook him up with a whole line of pharmacies across the country. That product sat on shelves and nobody knew what it was, what it would do, the potential of it. And so, he just lost a lot of money and nobody really knew what to do with that product. So that's why we do social marketing. So you can share with other people you know, what the product does, what it's done for other people, share the research so that you inspire them to use it. So basically, we are the advertising when it comes to social marketing. Let me see here. So how do you provide that support to your team players when they come on? We have team pages. This is one team page, right? Doc has a couple of team pages. Your leadership may have team pages where you can plug yourself in and plug your new people in so that they get continual support. Think of it like a newsletter. Many companies, especially like insurance companies, send out a newsletter monthly. Why do they do that? To keep it kind of in the forefront of their clients' minds that they're always there for them if they need more insurance, or to offer them information from the insurance industry that might benefit them. So that's kind of what your team pages are like. Personally, I have a team page where I have set it up for my entire team to just invite all of their prospects or anybody that's interested in learning about anti-aging. And in that particular page, I don't put business stuff. I simply put some testimonies, I put research and product info, things like that, because they came to learn about anti-aging, and that's what they came to learn about. So we have that particular page, and then we have another page which is like team training, where I would talk about business. I would offer training and information from the corporation so that people aren't missing it. So those are a couple of the tools that you can offer. But if your upline already has pages established, why duplicate that? Why make your life more complicated? Because really, if you have those tools available, your time should be spent contacting new people to see if they want to learn about anti-aging. You know, and basically that's how I approach it. I've built most of my business on the anti-aging section of our products. I haven't really promoted anything else. I simply go and ask people if they want to learn about reverse aging. Tell them, hey, I've joined a club on Facebook and we're all learning about anti-aging. Would you like to be included in the club so you can learn about it? You know, it's just that simple. So the other thing you can do is connect your people to upline. I have been in a few businesses now, and I have actually had people contact me and say, you know, they might not even be in my business, but they were part of the whole big circle of business, and contact me and say, well, I can't get along with, you know, my sponsor is not providing me with the information I need, and I don't know who to go to, so I'm coming to you. You know, and I would typically, in the beginning of that conversation, say, well, you need to go to your sponsor or their sponsor, you know, the sponsor of that person. And they would come and say, I don't know who those people are. And so it's really important for you to connect your people to at least 2 or 3 people above you, so that if you're not there to help them, they can go ahead and get help from those 2 people. And those 2 people are going to be interested in your business, right? And they should provide that support for you. Let's see, connections to the corporation. You know, in my team page where I share, you know, distributor information, I have a pinned post, and it literally walks everybody right through how to get connected to me, to Doc, to corporate, to the hotline call from corporate on Thursdays, to our YouTube pages. I mean, all they have to do is simply go down that list, and they've got all the connections right there for them to become connected. So that's how you provide that support. It's basically just helping them find the information and knowing how to be connected, okay? Also, being available to answer questions, or you can direct them to where they can find that information, or direct them to someone maybe in your upline who might have the answer for them. So the answer is never, I don't know. The answer is, well, let me help you find that information, right? I had a thought about that. Hang on. It might come back to me. Questions. Direct them to the source. Oh, I wanted to use this example. One business that I was in, we had a continual chat. Well, I had a continual chat with many different groups because I had different groups in my business. But in one particular group, it was the head of it was a husband-wife team, and they had a lot of activity in that group. People coming in, you know, it was like a Facebook chat, coming in and talking and goofing around with each other every night, things like that. And every once in a while, I'll just call her Julie. Julie would come in and say, "Hey," and she'd ask me a question. And I had laid out where all the answers to the most popular questions were. And so I would always direct people there, because what I was trying to do is train them to be self-sufficient, to go find that answer, so they didn't have to rely on me. You know, so they'd step up and be the leader. And she had a pretty big group too. Yet she was still contacting me for like just the average information that everyone should know. And so I'd say to her, "Oh, I have it in the files." And one night she got really mad at me. She says, "Why don't you just tell me the answer? Why do you always send me to the files?" And I tried to explain it to her very nicely that night. Well, about 2 months later, her group grew quite a bit. And I called her up on the phone, said, "How are you doing?" And she says, "These people are driving me crazy." She said, "All the time. They have questions, and I can't get anything done. I work full time. I'm a mom, and da-da-da-da-da." And I went, "Okay, well, let's back it down a minute, Julie. Let's revisit this time that you contacted me and wanted a question answered, and I told you to go to the files to get it. And you were quite upset with me that I taught you that." And she started, you know, it started clicking in her brain. And she went, because I had 500 people to answer to, and she had about 80, right? And I said, "So do you understand now why I said go to the files? And I'm teaching you to teach your people to go to the files and get that information." So that's just one example of, you know, you're providing these resources for them. They need to be able to go there. But of course, you're always going to help out, you know. And let's see, what else do I have here? And that's part of stepping up and becoming a leader, for you to get organized, for you to know how to access information, for you to be connected to corporate, to your leaders, to your pages, things like that. And as you do that, you train others to do that, and your leaders will pull forward. You may have those people who, you know, aren't in it to really build a big business in this, so they're never going to, you know, step up and do that. But what you can do then is just go ahead and answer their question, because you're going to figure out who's going to build a business and who isn't pretty quickly. And then I want to talk about attitude. You know, bring a good attitude. I am connected to a few different Sizzle pages that aren't anything to do with Kurt's group. And sometimes I see people post on there, and they've just got the worst attitude because something didn't go right, you know. And so in a group, they post it all out there. And I was trained very, very early, like 30 some years ago, you know, that you don't bring negativity into a business. People are not going to follow negativity. They're not going to want to be around people who are negative, you know. So if you have a concern, you have a question, get directly with your upline and ask them, and I'm sure they'll put a positive spin on it, and then you'll have the answer for when somebody else asks you. So let me see here. Let me see. I don't want to stray from my notes because I don't want to hold you guys up long, but I want to give you as much information as I can. So people are attracted to positive, not negative. We did that. Okay, so do you recognize in your life, because this is how it is for me, there's different personalities in this world. Thank God, you know, it makes it all very interesting. But do you recognize that when you run across that one person who just is so friendly and makes you feel so good, greets you with, you know, so much energy, and you're just kind of drawn to them? You know, it's not my personality, but it's my goal in life to kind of be that person. you know, I wasn't designed to be that person, but I'm trying to strive to be more like that person. So those people are the ones you're attracted to, right? Ask yourself that for a minute. They're the ones you're attracted to. So that might be an idea for you, to strive to be that person, that helpful person, that smiling person, that person who answers the phone going, hey, I'm so glad you called me, that kind of thing. So to get past that part, I want to go in and talk about how to use your team pages to support your members and keep your customers. I talked about don't duplicate. If your upline has a good page, why would you waste your time, you know, going and setting up your own page and just going to their page and copying what they do and put it in there? Why would you do that? Because that frees up your time. Your leader is freeing up time for you to do the part that will make you money, the part of activity that will bring you new customers, bring you new team members. So go ahead and utilize those tools that they've given you. So we have that prospect page, we have a team page, and many of you have that same thing. So what people don't realize is this. Like, I have several hundred people in my prospect page, right? I've gone in there, invited people, my team members have gone in there, invited people, and we're just presenting them with revolving information about anti-aging. Here's the problem. It's Facebook. Facebook is our problem. So if you do not go in and like or comment maybe once a week, Facebook just pushes you away and you lose that contact. So I might have, you know, a few hundred people in that group, and I can tell by the feedback from Facebook about who's watching, who's seeing things, that I have about 40 people who see things. And that's pretty sad that we've worked really hard to bring, you know, tons of people in, and then only 40 people are actually seeing the activity and the information in there. So the activity, the work of being a social marketing person would be to keep people connected. Bring them communication, keep them connected to communication. So what I'm trying to share with you is that once a week you go in and comment on something in those team pages so that your Facebook doesn't drop you, basically. And if your people that you invited in there are no longer connecting and seeing that information, let's say Katie Larkin does a really great post in her group page. If you are in Katie's team and you had invited some people a while back and you're not sure they're still connected to that information, you can just go into a comment, hyperlink their name. That means you're going to start typing their name. Facebook will pop it up. You click on that pop-up. It bolds the text of their name so you know they are going to get a notification, right? So you might go in and connect with 2 or 3 people and go, hey, this is pretty awesome information. I thought you'd like it. Bob Jones, Sue Miller, Deb Dickman, whatever, whoever these people are, you know, and you tag them in it. So what I have done recently is set up I went back through all my membership and all the people I invited. I actually wrote it all down, and I'm kind of keeping track of how often I connect them, just so Facebook will give them a notification and bring them back to that information. So that would be helpful, and it helps spiral our pages with like strength for more people to see it. I don't know how to explain that any better than that, but especially like on YouTube. So Katie has a YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel, Doc has a YouTube channel, and when you go to the YouTube channel, of course you're going to get your new people connected and have them subscribe and, you know, click on the bell to be notified if a new video goes in there, and then they'll get an email that there's a new video in, say, Sizzle World Team YouTube channel, right? And when you go in, like it. Keep liking your team's YouTube post, because that drives it up so that more and more people see it who aren't even connected to it, but more and more people will see it. So that's how you help. Because the old adage that if you can raise the bar higher, it benefits all, right? So that would be a helpful thing for you to do. So let's talk about what might be ways to help yourself as a new member. How about be intentional to learn about the tools available to you? You know, you just got started, you know, there's a grace period there, but what I like to do with my team members that I invite is take away that whole almost a 2-month learning curve of knowing when the calls are, how to get connected to this, how to get connected to that. That's why I have that pinned post in my team page. So people can, and I'll take them there and I'll welcome them under that and say, just follow down these steps to get totally connected. Part of that is their responsibility. You know, I can, like I said before on a different training, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? So part of that is to be intentional for you to learn about the tools and get connected. Then what you do is you know how to connect your new members. So they don't have that 2-month learning curve of not knowing where things are, not knowing when they are, that type of thing. They have it all, you have it organized, and then you show them how they can have it organized. Okay, decide what your own goals are. I am of personal belief that people come into this type of business, social marketing, to meet their own goals, not meet the goals of their upline, not meet the, you know, the goals of the corporation. It is your business. So I would say sit down and figure out your goals. If you want input, of course, you can communicate with your upline and ask them, what do you recommend? What should I do first? I want to be successful. What do I do first? What should I try to hit first? You know, and then hopefully your upline can give you some ideas because they've been on our training, they've been on our calls, things like that, and they can give you ideas of how to meet your goals. So set your own goals. So how do you do that? Well, I believe that for me, it has always worked that I would, at night, before I go to sleep, I would just draw out a diagram. I'd put myself in a circle and I'd think about the people I want to connect to this business. And I'd draw a line down and put a circle and put their name in there. Even if I hadn't talked to them yet, I'd put them in, because you're doing like a pre-plan of action, right? So you put their names in there, and maybe the next night you contacted all those people and you have other people that you're thinking of that you want to connect with us, who you think might be interested in anti-aging or health. And so you're going to put those names in. And you can do that for, I don't know, about a month and a half. You know, if you're getting people in your business pretty quickly, and whenever I have done this, it just happens. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of that magic of writing your goals down and it starts happening. The action starts, the action of doing that and the pre-thinking of doing that, setting those goals, somehow puts the universe into action for you and it creates that. So really you can only do that about 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and then you're just like drawing so many circles, it's like ridiculous. So then you kind of have to let it go. But that's how you kind of can get started, okay? Acquire some product info. You're new, so we're saying be intentional about getting connected to tools, right? The YouTube channels, corporate information, corporate calls, your team calls, and then set your goals. And now acquire some product info. That is super easy. I mean, because it's abundant out there. Doc's got a ton of it in Sizzle World Team YouTube channel. You can go on YouTube and put in Tom Maurer and any product and find a video. If you're on my team, I have designed my YouTube channel to be organized with Sizzle products and videos so that you can easily go in and find them. So get some product info. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to know all the scientific information. But it's nice to have a few things, like Fucoidan works on inflammation really good. Fucoidan supports gut health really good. Fucoidan boosts the immunity. A few things like that, so you know what to present to people. And then don't talk. Just send them the video of Tom Maurer explaining it. Send them the video of Doc explaining it. You don't have to talk. You don't have to like spend an hour telling somebody about something. You just bring it up, connect them, and then connect them to information. And then what's the next thing you do after that? Follow up. They always say the money is in the follow-up. So if you've invited them to, say, a page where there's information for them to learn about anti-aging, you have to go back and follow up with them. Hey, did you ever listen to that call that Tom did about the science of the age pill? You know, you go back and you connect with them. I've done that to like numerous people that I've invited into my prospect page, and they'll go, oh no, I totally forgot about that. I'll go do it now. You know why? Because when they got your message about that, they were busy going to a baseball game. They were busy cooking dinner. They were going to a doctor's appointment. They're living their life. So that's why you always have to follow up, because when you send it, doesn't mean that it's high priority for them. Okay, so the follow-up is always necessary. Let's see. Yeah, actively participate on your leaders' pages, because that benefits all of you. Let's see, plug in. I think I covered most of this information. A little bit more about the follow-up. So typically in the social marketing world, they say it takes at least 3 contacts for the person you're trying to show information to become enthused enough or interested enough to even look at what you sent, right? And so what I typically don't do is I don't give up before those 3 or 4 times that I might send them one more thing or one more little message to say, hey, did you happen to watch this? That kind of thing. But you don't have to do it on Facebook. You can do it through text. You can do it in a private message on Facebook. You can call them and say, hey, did you ever, you know? So just continue your follow-up. I usually do that, you know, like probably take a week to 10 days to do 3 follow-ups with somebody. And if they haven't responded after that, I'm going to wait maybe 2 weeks and then get back with them. After that, maybe a month, you know. And I've had so many people, they're looking at my information, but I don't know they're looking at my information. But they're kind of seeing the things I post on Facebook, or they'll go back and, you know, I'll do something else and they'll re-see the information I sent to them previously. And then they'll come back and go, hey, I'm ready to take that age pill. You know, so it's always out there until they say, hey, don't bug me with this. It's always a possibility that down the road they'll want to do that. Let me look at my notes here. Okay, so let's talk about how easy this business is, because I think so many people are intimidated by this. Basically, you're just talking. You're just talking with people. If you went to a really good restaurant and you went to work the next day, you'd be saying, wow, I went to that new Italian restaurant. It was really good. If you went to a really good movie Friday night, Monday morning, you're sitting around the water cooler or whatever you do at work, and you say, well, yeah, my husband and I went to this movie Friday night. It was a good one. That is promotion. That is all we're doing with Sizzle products, is we're promoting them. We're promoting the benefits. That would be a good way to do it. Promote the benefits. Somebody brings up some kind of health situation they have. You need to know enough to know which product might help with that. And then say, well, you know, I've got something that might help you with that. And then you shoot them a video, because that's your tool. Your mouth is not your tool. In that case, you need to give them a more defined explanation, so you send them the video. Send them what Tom said. Send them what Kurt said. It doesn't have to be you. In fact, they're going to listen to those better than they do you, who are their coworker or their neighbor. They're going to listen to those much better than listening to you. Unless you have a really super fantastic personal restoration story, then use your tools. But it's easy. Think about the hardest job you ever did in your life. The job that you just hated. Is it easier than that to talk to people? For mine, it was 16 years old, picking cherry trees, picking cherries off trees. I lasted about a week, and I'd close my eyes at night and I'd just see cherries on branches. That's all I saw. And I went, oh, this is not for me. So I did not like that job. So this is easy because you're just talking. You're just sharing. You talk to your neighbor, you talk to your family, you talk to your friends. It's just that. Sometimes you're talking to strangers, but you're simply talking. You're simply sharing. Keep it that simple. As I said to Doc the other day, keep it simple, sweetheart, because my granddaughter says she can't say the word stupid anymore. So, let me see. So, just relax. If you're new, relax. Get organized, because what does organization bring you? Confidence. You're not like, oh, when was that call? I have this new person. I don't even remember when that call was. Get yourself organized, relax, and just share the information. And the more you acquire, and it takes time, but the more you acquire, the more confidence you have. It's also a point of sharing a message with somebody. Like Doc has said before, develop your story. Why are you doing Sizzle? Why do you think this product is important? Develop your own story to present to people. And you don't need that many stories. Develop it so that it comes out. Like, your story never changes. It just comes out because it applies to everyone in regards to what you're trying to share. And so as you do that, you're going to gain confidence. As you share that story, you typically tweak it a little bit and make it better and better and better. And then you're very confident in what you're sharing. So being organized, being connected, having all this stuff ready in your own life helps you gain confidence. So the last thing I want to go over is three-way calls. Typically, there's different personality types out there. And some personalities, either through life experience or just their personality, they don't have the confidence to share detailed information with people. And you know what? That's okay. Because honestly, three-way calls are like magic, like abracadabra. They are like magic. You can know more than the person that you're doing the three-way call with, the person you're bringing in to do the call for you. You can know more than that person, but because you're the connection to the person you're trying to share with, they're going to listen to a stranger better than they're going to listen to you. So if you're that person who says, I just don't know how to share all this, you're going to get hooked up with one of your upline. You're going to say, hey, I need to do some three-way calls with you. I want to introduce this to people, but I'm not confident enough to share it with them. I need help with your three-way call, doing a three-way call with me. And somewhere in your upline, there is somebody that will help you with that. So, if the person above you isn't confident either, go to the next person. But basically, you're going to get on, you're going to do a three-way call, you're going to buzz everybody in together, and you're just going to shut up. Right? You're going to shut up and let that person do the talking for you, because that's why you brought them on. Don't interrupt them. Let them go. Towards the end, there might be something you want to bring up, some other information they might want to know about the person they're talking about. But basically, once you get that upline on the call, let them run with it, and you shut up. And you will have success with that. I've seen this work over and over and over. If they're listening to someone they don't know, that person automatically has authority more than you have authority. So anyway, that's my little tips for getting all plugged in. I hope it was helpful for someone out there. Like I said, it's the wheat with the straw. Like, throw out the bad stuff if you didn't like that, and run with the good stuff if that was a benefit to you. So I see you guys on here. Sandy from Australia. I see David on here. I see Janice and Jane and Sally, Katie, Alicia, Alan, Rennie, Ann. So, Kathy. So thanks for joining tonight, and this will be available, of course, on the Sizzle World Team page. And if Doc thinks he wants to make it into a YouTube video, we can do that. So have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.